Hello folks, my name's Alistair and welcome to Strathpeffer Railway, which is my model railway in double O gauge. I've been on YouTube now since the latter of 2012 and I've been following such people as Everard Junction, Dean Park Station, and then more recent times people like Watermills Yard, Cheeky Tech and Lakeside. Since watching these people, I've become inspired and enthused to actually get to grips and start to build my own model railway. My brother and I, when we were younger, always had train sets, but we never had a dedicated model railway, so I thought it was high time that I give it a go and build my own one for a start. So what we're going to do first of all is just talk about the concept of the model railway. After I got the initial idea to build a model railway, I decided to build it and base it on the location of Dingwall train station. A couple of reasons for this is Dingwall train station was the local train station to me. Dingwall train station was quite a large and important junction. It had the junction for the Far North Line and the junction to the Kyle of Lochhalsh Railway. In its heyday, the station grew up to be quite large, having its own two-road engine shed along with turntable, its own goods shed, cattle docks, numerous sidings for freight, as well as signal boxes to the south and north of the station, and an island platform. Throughout the heyday of the station, lots of traffic went through, including fish and perishables from the north to the south. You had cattle and livestock coming in for the Highland Mart, which was based in Dingwall itself, and you also had Victorian tourists towards the end of the 19th and the start of the 20th century travelling through Dingwall to Strathpeffer itself to take part in taking of the healing waters from the Strathpeffer Spa. The station itself I thought would be ideal then because it would offer perfect operations for a model layout. So I decided Dingwall Station was the one to be, and then I started doing my planning stage. Using a computer system that many of you may have and know, I came up with the actual diagram for the station. However, on scaling it down to double O gauge, I found out that I would need 11 metres minimum for the model. I then compromised and decided that I would do the layout from the road bridge to the southern end of the station where the engine shed was. This would be roughly 5 metres. So I started stockpiling track, started stockpiling locomotives, and started stockpiling rolling stock. However, one house move later, I then discovered, ironically, although we moved to a bigger house, I ran out of space for building a model layout, so a further compromise had to be made. Now, I was very keen to get a model layout built, so I decided to build and focus my layout on Strathpeffer itself. The village of Strathpeffer is a small highland village north of Inverness, and it sports a beautiful Victorian terminus station building, which is still there to this day, although the rails are long gone. The station building itself is the home to the Highland Museum of Childhood, as well as a very nice tea room and a number of fair trade shops. The station itself was restored in the later part of the 1980s, early 1990s, and is open to visitors year round. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to base a model railway. As I'd mentioned, I've got quite a large collection of rolling stock and locomotives now, and I decided to base my railway on a heritage line. This would then give me the get out of jail free card when it came to rolling stock. It means I could run any locomotives that I saw fit, predominantly LMS and British Rail Blue diesels, although I do have a small collection of Southern Rail steam because I do quite like those locomotives. So what we'll do is we'll give you a quick tour of the layout and a quick description of the layout itself. So the scenic side of the layout is 2.5 metres by 600 millimetres. Slight insight in the baseboard design. I only done originally a 2 metre baseboard and then realised I needed an extra 500 mils to get me the run round and head shunt for the run round loop. So the main part of the layout itself then is my replica of Strathpeffer station building. Myself and a friend went down there with measuring tape and sketches and we measured the building up, sent all the information away to York Model Making, and they sent back quite a comprehensive and bespoke kit of the building itself, which is still under construction. Moving on, the layout itself then is built of Pico Code 100 track, which is a mix of set track, flexi track, and then medium radius points, along with a couple of large points, and there are 2 three-way points on the layout. The layout is built of soft wood frames with 9mm plywood base. In the centre here, if we just pan down, we can see the control panel for all the point work on the layout. This is solely for the scenic side of the layout. I am using Gagemaster PM1 point motors with switches, and I'm using the on-off-on switch to control them. Control and power for the layout is done through the Gagemaster Advanced Prodigy unit with 2 handheld cab controllers, one for diesel locomotives and the secondary for steam. Power to auxiliaries is done through the old black style Hornby controller, and that controls all the switches for the point motors and any accessories in which I wish to put on the layout at a later date. Looking into the main part of the yard then, we have 2 sidings here which are used for the rolling stock storage. We have the head shunt just here, which is used and will be used for the refueling of locomotives. I intend to put an ash pit in here for the cleaning of steam locos. Looking towards the back of the layout then, you see we've got the workshop there with a Q1 sitting in. We also have 2 BR diesels. We've got the Class 27 and a Class 26. We also have another siding to the side, which is used for the storage of locomotives and rolling stock awaiting restoration. This then is just a quick look at my fiddle yard, which is in storage underneath the layout itself, and I've got a number of sidings in which I can store locomotives and track, and this stays away most of the time and only comes out when I intend on running locomotives, and it just clips onto the end of the baseboard through coach bolts, and it has a separate couple of sets of legs which you can see at the back there. Okay, so just a quick look at the wiring. Now, a point to note is I am in no way a professional when it comes to wiring. I am completely amateur, barely a novice. So I appreciate it may look a bit untidy under here, but you know, trying my best as I can do. So here we've got the DCC power bus, which runs along the side of this bar here and then back out. We have a lot of dropper wires coming from the tracks, but also coming from the Gagemaster motors, so that we get that polarity switch. To the rear then, we have the 16 volt, 12 volt DC power, which comes off an old Hornby model railway controller, and that's for powering up any auxiliaries as well as the switches for the point motors themselves. The main reason that I've decided to film a video and put it on YouTube is because I am starting a model railway. I've not got much experience, and although I've been watching videos on YouTube, I've still come up with some problems and I haven't been able to remedy them. So what I want to do is share the problems with you, because as we know, a problem shared is a problem halved, and hopefully some of you may have experienced the same issues and will be able to give me hints, tips, and share your knowledge and know-how and how I can remedy these, because for me, model railways is about building of models and enjoying the trains running. I'm not a fan of doing electrics, I'm not particularly a fan of woodwork, and I find it very frustrating, and I would like to get past these stages so I can actually get into the meat of enjoying building the model and enjoying watching trains run. So one of my problems is what I believe might be the actual point motors. Now, before I put the point motors in, the model railway ran smooth. Locals moved from one end of the baseboard to the other without any issues. The only real issue was going across the three-way point. However, since installing the point motors, I've come across some very unsmooth running. Now, I've made sure all the wheels are clean, I've made sure the locos are well run in, the track is clean, but still no resolve to the issue. So I'm going to show you the issue now, and what we'll see is the O8 shunter moving in reverse over the track. Now, at some points it will stall, and then when it gets over the point itself, it will stop completely. Here we go. So this loco is on 128 speed steps, and as you can see it's already stopped, but it started again. I've got dropper wires on every piece of individual track. It's just struggling to start again. I'll push it with a pencil, hopefully it'll move. There we go, it's just starting to stall again. This piece of track has got its own dropper wires, but still nothing happening. As you can see, it's still stopping. We're moving over the point. We've moved over the point, and then we're probably, hopefully, going to stop here. No, shock, it doesn't happen on the night. Okay, so usually the loco will stop in the middle of the points, as well as stalling and stopping all the way up the track. And that's the same for all the running lines since the installation of the point motors. What I'll do is I'll run that loco forward and we'll see if it'll do it. Again, 128 speed steps, and we're up to 40. There you go, it's starting to stall again over that track. Stalled again. It's moving off. There we go. It's stalled. It's starting again. As you can see, very unsmooth, very jerky. And this is becoming quite an issue. And it doesn't just happen with this '08 shunter, but it happens with the larger diesels and my larger steam engines as well. Very frustrating. So if you have experienced this problem before and you know how to remedy it, then please drop a comment, get in touch with me, because for the life of me I can't seem to solve it. So that's my first issue with the running on this railway. Okay, so the next problem is crossing points, and again it doesn't just happen with the '08 shunter, it happens with the larger locos as well. So what we'll see now is the loco crossing the points. Now the points have been installed as per the instructions, as per videos on YouTube, and as we'll see, it stops in the centre. Give it a push eventually, and it picks up the power again. Now the points have been installed, like I said, with instructions. So we've got we've got insulated rail joiners where they need to be according to the instructions. The wiring is as instructed on the PM1 point motor instructions and the back of the Pico track instructions, and yet we still seem to have issues getting a loco to run smoothly over these points. Okay, my third and final issue that I'm having with the railway at this moment, and hopefully someone can give me a few suggestions on how to remedy it, is this three-way point. Now, I've wired it up with Gagemaster's PM1 motors. I've wired it up as far as I can see, according to the instructions, yet I'm still having running issues, and I've just demonstrated that now with the '08 shunter. And there we go. It stops there, it runs a little bit further, and then it completely stops once it gets to this stage here. And it's only when I push it onto the other side of the track, it picks up power. Again, it's stalling and it moves off. Now again, track is clean. I think I've wired it up according to the instructions, but I'm still having issues. And the issues still continue with this turnout and the centre turnout as well. Again, if you've had any issues with this and you know how to remedy it, please feel free to drop me a comment and help me sort this out. Okay, that's it from me. Again, thank you for watching. If you have had any of these problems that I've shown on this video and you know how to remedy, again, please get in touch, drop me a message and let me know how to do it, because as I said, I'm not a professional when it comes to wiring of electrics or building of woodwork, and I really would like to get past this frustrating stage so I can get on with the actual enjoyment of building models and running trains. So again, thanks for watching. Look out for any further videos if I actually do get this situation remedied, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.